everybody. I'm Tim Donnelly, play-by-play voice of the Charlotte Rush. We're at the Extreme Ice Center here in Indian Trail, North Carolina. In the Charlotte Rush coach's office, we're going to talk Charlotte Rush Elite Hockey. We have John Turner, the head coach of the Charlotte Rush Elite team, as the Elite Club, along with the Premier team, opened up the 2018-19 season this past weekend in Hampton Roads. And want to talk about that series, and let's bring in John Turner. John, well, it was a tough weekend for the Charlotte Rush Elite, but you had mentioned that this is a young team, and so we got a lot of young players. A lot of the guys moved up to Premier, so it's going to take the guys a little while to get their feet wet. And before we talk about the results, just expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just guys' first time, some guys' first junior game, and to go into a barn like that for your first experience with all the build-up, as much as we tried to keep the build-up under control, it's still going to be there. And so just a big eye-opener. A lot of kids like stuck, like couldn't move their feet, just thinking too much. So that was kind of one of the biggest goals, was just getting the compete up, which was from game 1 to game 2.
And let's talk about the first game. It was a 6-2 defeat. First of all, though, you got a goal from Jake Ballway, newcomer, and then the veteran Chris Dunn also pitched in for one. So talk about their goals, and also tell us about Luke Fox and how he fared in that game.
Ballway has been an absolute pleasure. He works hard. He was one of the kids that came out competing from the start in his first junior game, which is a pretty big eye-opener for all of us, and builds a lot of confidence for me and him. And Dunn played a good game. I expect more from our leadership group. It is what it is. They know that it starts during the weekend practice, and it leads into the weekends. Luke Fox he's a consummate professional. He puts out every day in practice, plays a really aggressive style, which fits our culture very well. And just his first experience too with us, trying to get the communication down between him and the players, especially him and the defense. It takes some reps getting comfortable with what the lingo is going to be, and just a comfort zone with everybody, especially in the defensive zone.
Sunday, John, you guys really bounced back well. Very tight game. It was a 1-goal loss, and it was tied until late in the third period. But you got a couple power play goals from defenseman Jake Warner. I know you had to be happy. I'm sure he was excited too.
Jake has been a complete 180 this year on a personal level. He struggled a lot with some personal stuff last year, and some anxiety and stuff like that. And he has just been all over the locker room, a leader. I couldn't ask for anything more out of him, and now he's reaping the benefits of personal growth and coming out on the ice, And it's just been a pleasure to see some growth in some kids. And the second game was the biggest thing was just the compete was up. We came out hot, got up a little bit, didn't play a full 60, let them come back in it, and then some bright spots with guys battling back, not quitting, especially some young guys, again, in their first weekend of junior hockey, and just going all the way to the end, and just some tactical mistakes at the end, which you're going to get with young kids. It's part of the growing process. We harp on a lot, and we let the game slip away that way,
Well, again, though, but much better performance on Sunday. We're happy about that. And again, these young guys with the Charlotte Rush Elite, I think are going to do nothing but get better and better and better as the season rolls on. We're talking to John Turner, the head coach of the Charlotte Rush Elite, here on this video Wednesday. And speaking of some adversity, we have a hurricane brewing out in the Atlantic, and just so you folks know, it's kind of up in the air right now as to whether the Rush will be able to play. We're hosting the Carolina Eagles from Raleigh, North Carolina this weekend. And of course, right now, we can tell you the games are on for right now, but please check back. Anything's going to be happening. John, for you and Lenny, it's one thing to have to be coaching all these guys. Now you got to be looking at the weather every day between now and Saturday.
No, and it's just a way for us to preach sticking to the process. You never know what's going to happen on any given weekend. All we can do is grind the week out, do what we need to get done in practices, and stick to our routine, and the weekend will take care of itself, good or bad, you know.
Of course, we do play the Carolina Eagles this weekend, and John, we had a chance to play them in the preseason. It's only preseason. I know you and Lenny were looking at a lot of different players and all of that, but we did pretty well in the preseason. But I know you and the guys have to be happy about being back here at the Extreme Ice Center and staging the home opener this weekend.
Absolutely. Just a great experience for the young guys to get their first taste of home in our barn. The biggest thing is just not worrying about the opponent at this point, especially with our elite team, is just, you know, the only people that's going to beat us is ourselves. So getting better every day from our standpoint is really the biggest thing, which we preach all week and should come out in the weekend. Just like we talked about with the Hampton games, to compete, I want to see, you know, some more growth with that. And just taking it one day at a time, getting better every day. You know, we preach in our organization that the only people that are really going to beat us if we play the way the Rush play is ourselves.
And, John, one last question. Coming out of the Hampton Roads games, how are we looking health-wise for this weekend against Carolina? Any major injuries, or except for some bumps and bruises, are we in pretty good shape?
We are in pretty good shape. I'd like to see a little more bumps and bruises, because that means the compete would be up. But no major injuries, you know, and we're in a good place to go into the weekend.
John's got a couple of big cases of Band-Aids, and he wants to really use those this weekend. John, thanks a lot for all the thoughts and observations. We appreciate it. Again, good success this weekend against Carolina. Hopefully we will get to play the games, and thanks again for being with us.
Thanks so much, Tim. I appreciate it.
John Turner, head Charlotte Rush coach of the elite squad. As again, we look forward to this weekend. Hopefully, the games are on right now as of Wednesday at 12:30, but do stop back to our Charlotte Rush website, also our Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram. If there is a cancellation or a postponement, we will certainly let you know on those platforms. Anthony Pagnotta from the Carolina School of Broadcasting has been our cameraman. Thank you, Anthony. Thanks to John Turner. I'm Tim Donnelly, play-by-play voice of the Charlotte Rush, and thanks so much for watching.